In the universe of the New Order, Last Days of Europe, TNO, where the Axis powers won the World War II, the SS State Burgundy, or State of Burgundy, is the most dystopian, totalitarian, and nightmarish place on Earth. It is ruled by Heinrich Himmler under the Burgundian system. Life for ordinary people is characterized by literal concentration camp conditions, total surveillance, forced Spartan austerity, and systematic terror. If a communist or socialist system were adopted in Burgundy, which, rather than a peaceful transition, the change in the life of the average citizen would be arguably the most radical shift in lifestyle imaginable. Under Himmler, everyday life is an automated meat grinder. The civilian population, largely enslaved French and Belgian people, alongside podicide German settlers, do face constant industrial culling, deliberate famines, and little work quotas. The immediate shift would be the collapse of the SS administration in the implementation of a communist system, immediately halt the radical ideological purges. Basic human needs will be the second important thing. For the first time in decades, the priority shift from fueling a global nuclear doomsday apparatus to basic material distribution. Reopening supply lines, dismantling the state-enforced mass starvation programs, and distributing food equitably would mean the difference between life and death for millions. There will be also the liberation from sector penal slavery. Since Burgundy functions as a massive nation-sized penal colony where cities are built as brutalist labor centers, people are assigned barcodes stripped of their identities and worked to death to build redundant underground bunkers and heavy industry. The communist organization will put an end to all of this and will collectivize these industries. While labor will still be incredibly grueling, people will transition from literal slaves to unionized or state-directed laborers. The psychological relief of no longer working under the threat of an SNS officer executing you for low productivity will be immeasurable. Himmler's regime enforces absolute cultural erasure. The French and Flemish languages are heavily suppressed. Historic cities are renamed, and any form of art, music, or expression not approved by the SS is punishable by death. Restoration of identity will be the first step for a communist system on this region, and will actively reverse the forced Germanization. Finally, the cultural life. The banned languages will return to schools, workplaces, and radio broadcasts. Public spaces will change from carrying ominous black sun imagery to socialist realism, red flags, and revolutionary iconography. While still highly ideological, it allows the local population to reclaim their suppressed heritage, the shadows of the past, and continued austerity. It is vital to understand that a communist Burgundy will not instantly become utopian workers' paradise. The original trauma would run incredibly deep. However, transitioning to communism in the lands of Burgundy means moving from a state of industrial nihilistic enslavement aimed at global destruction to a heavily militarized, heavily scarred but fundamentally human society focused on survival, reconstruction, and retaliation against its former masters. Thank you all for watching. If you want to see more videos like this one, please leave a like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. See you next time. Bye bye.